There we are. We're finally there. How are you doing there, Mr. Mike Kelly?
I'm doing fantastically, Mr. Ed Parcaut. And you?
I'm doing great. A little tired went out to dinner last night, got home, for us,
late-ish.
Yeah. 9 o'clock's late anymore for us.
Shit, 7:30 is late for me.
Yeah. Thanks for putting on the thing that you put on last night.
That was a lot of fun. And it was refreshing to listen to a candidate actually answer questions.
Right. Or actually know what he's doing.
Yeah.
That gentleman, Nathan Magsig, I think that's how you say it.
Magsig.
Yeah. It's like what I carry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A mag and a sig.
All right. And, so he's just having the background of in housing and other stuff. All the issues that we're having, he's got a background in.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about him. And he actually owned a business, ran companies and that kind of stuff. And that's important. I think we need to get back to, I don't want to get too political today, but getting back to, you go for service and you go back to your community.
Right.
You don't stay there forever.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It was refreshing.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. And a good turnout. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thanks for inviting.
Yeah.
Invite, we'll come.
This is how this happens.
That's right. It's got to be Friday. Anything going on this weekend locally? No, next weekend is the graffiti.
Yeah, next weekend graffiti downtown. I think are they back at
MJC West?
MJC West, yeah.
Yep.
Because Muni is no more.
Yeah, they need to build affordable housing, whatever that means.
I think so.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, they need. Actually, I think they, for my take on it, downtown Modesto needs to have the ballpark. Right. I think we need that move it from out there downtown. I know a lot of people say that's a lot of money for our city. You know what?
Which will bring a lot of money to our city.
Right. And if they build condos around it, build stuff, you got now downtown housing, which
Absolutely.
Everybody wanted to be able to be downtown and support downtown and be close to the restaurants. I could see a whole change, how our whole community would change if we did that.
Yeah, I agree. I could see a lot of people moving downtown, freeing up a lot of single family homes in the outskirts of downtown, increasing inventory, making things a little bit more affordable. Affordable is just a myth in a market.
Because I talked about that last night. It's like when the numbers came out this week, how year over year, nationwide we're up 20%. Well, Modesto never does anything nationwide, always does more. We always try to get more than the nationwide. And you had Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix, Tampa, and one other place in Florida up 30% That just tells you we're still having an issue.
Right.
So,
yeah. And
you
I start thinking about CEQA and NEPA, and we don't need to get into that.
No, because nobody understands that. And all I'm going to say is next week you need to vote. You need to read what you're voting for, understand who the candidates are. If you don't know who the candidates are, don't vote for any of them. And please don't just do party lines just because you think.
Yes.
As I tell everybody, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or independent. We're all really in the middle. We care about our community, care about certain things, and you need to start voting that way, not just voting
your party
against or against something.
Right.
Vote for something, not against something.
And if you don't understand it, do some research.
Yeah, talk to somebody. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
And, market's up, or I should say stock market's down today. Rates are fluctuating again. We're going to have this for a while until we see, I think, clarity going forward, whether we know there's a change in the administration or there's not a change in the administration and how to deal with it.
Yeah, stock market looked to be up yesterday, down today.
That had to do with ADP and the employment numbers.
And hedging their bets for the weekend. So,
But I mean, for one thing that Nathan, he said last night was, he's seeing the little lull at the top. I see less people looking, but I also see more people getting, because I have people I know that are writing offers and they're getting still bid out over $50,000 on the high end stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that might be just in certain markets. I don't know.
Well, it's where people aren't as affected by interest rates and stuff like that.
Right.
All the things,
I mean, I still have a ton of people on the low end looking and trying because they know that to rent, it's even more still than what their payment could be, even where the rates are right now.
Right. So. And in the low end, the 350 to 400, 420, there's still very, very little inventory.
Yeah, up to 476 FHA. There's
hardly anything. Yeah. And I've been watching the market all week as far as the real estate market, and listings are starting to slow down. Some price reductions are starting to happen, which tells you there's a little lull. But it also tells me that, people were doing the thing that they did, 15 years ago, and it's, God, if my neighbor got that and they bid it up to that, I can start up here. Well, you can't. You still have to start at what looks like the market is, and then let the market drive it up if there's competition. But there's just fewer people out there competing, unless you're in that lower price range, 350 to 4, like you said, 476, and that's just firecrackers.
Right. And it's going to be, I mean, people are nervous, which I get, because everybody keeps thinking 2006. We're not there.
Mm-mm.
It's a totally different market, but rates were where we were in 2018, 17. So the problem is we just weren't used to this for that last 2 years. It was like, what? I can take $100,000 out of my house and it doesn't cost me a dime.
Well, it'll cost a dime.
No, what I mean is, it doesn't cost me anything in my payment. What do you mean my payment went down $100 and I just took $100,000 out?
What?
Yeah. And now it's like, what do you mean I got to pay $700 more?
Yeah.
Well, it's back to where it was in reality.
Refi when it comes back down.
That's right. All right. So we want to do a few questions today.
Let's do a bucket of questions.
A bucket of questions. All right. You got the bucket over there. I don't. I'm going to hit you first.
Okay. You hit me.
Did we already do these?
I don't know. We only did 2.
You know what? I know, but I did a few other ones. I apologize. Let me see here. How to buy a house for the first time.
Save money, put money down, get pre-approved by a good lender, find a good real estate agent or realtor, and buy a house.
There you go.
It could be harder.
Yeah.
If you want to make it that hard.
Yeah. When it's hard is when you go to the wrong person.
Right.
So get a referral, talk to some people who've been through it, talk to some people who had nightmares, and so you know where not to go.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't have anybody that's done anything lately with a real estate agent, interview a couple.
Yeah.
You get a feel for who's real and who's not.
Right. And as a buyer, you're not really paying for the agent. And I don't mean that wrong, but don't worry about how do I pay you? That's not your job. Your job.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like the loan person. You don't pay them either. We get paid by, if I'm a broker, I get paid when I sell it off, and other people get paid from their company for doing it. You don't actually, it's not how it used to be. That change happened after 2006.
Yeah. You might pay some points or something like that.
If you only want to buy. Yeah. Truly points are to buy the rate down. So,
yeah.
Go ahead. You got one?
I don't like this one.
Yeah, grab
this was a
one.
Super easy one, though.
I'm
just going to toss a softball at you. Actually, let's go mush ball.
Okay, let me get my teleprompter up.
Okay. Can you roll closing costs into a VA loan?
A purchase or a refinance?
It says VA loan. It doesn't say purchase.
Right. So on a purchase, you basically cannot roll them in the loan. But what you can do is, if there's enough room in the purchase price, you can have the seller help you pay the closing costs.
Good answer.
Good answer.
What about a refi?
Refi, yes, all those closing costs can be added in. And when I say all those closing costs, it shouldn't be more than like $1,700 for escrow and title fees. And if you're paying way more than that, you need to read the fine print and go somewhere else.
And what's the only thing you need to get a VA loan?
You have to be a veteran, or you active duty. And the one thing about reservists, right? That's you have to be in for so long. It's like 8 years or been deployed. And so those are a little differently, and we have to go through those numbers to see if that works there.
An honorable discharge and a DD-214?
Yeah, but you don't have to have a DD-214 if you're active. So,
that's true, because you won't get one yet.
That's right. So, so if most people, you have to be honorably discharged. That's the big key, or medically.
Hey, you don't want to know something? I stopped and got a espresso because I needed a little jolt, and it was $5.95, which is less than a gallon of gas now, but it's not even a gallon.
That's right. And that's less than a gallon of diesel, which is like 6 something.
I know it. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
And
it's my turn, huh?
I gave him a 20.
They gave change?
Yeah. And I said, keep $1.05 for your tip and give me 13 back. So he gave me 18 back. And I thought, he doesn't know the maths.
He doesn't know how to count change.
Yeah. So I handed him the 5 back, and he's like, that's a big tip. And I said, no, you just give me too much cash back.
Yeah, it's a big tip. And when you're short in your drawer, use your money to pay that.
Exactly. Okay, lob one at me.
All right, here it's another softball. You're coming your way. Is buying a house hard?
No.
But
It's as hard as you want to make it.
if you have the wrong agent and the wrong loan officer, it could be really hard.
It could be very tough.
Yeah, it should be easy.
You want your agent to communicate with you all the time. You want your loan officer to communicate with you all the time. No, it's not hard.
I'm gonna throw you another one because that was too easy.
Yeah.
What does pending mean in real estate?
That's a tough one. Pending means it may close escrow soon. They've got an accepted offer. Now, remember, pending homes, you could still, if the seller wishes, look at it and write a backup offer. Sometimes things happen, and pendings go to BOMs, which are called a BOM, back on the market. If you've got a backup offer in there, it won't go back on the market. You get it.
And be careful with what you're saying there, because they might start taking down my videos again because you say some words.
Oh, BOM? BOM? You want to say it again?
No.
Let me. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to think of all the other words I can say.
No, you're going to give me another question. Okay. I've only had one. Oh, I guess we did two.
No, you did. I did one for you.
Oh.
The bucket of questions. Number 19. How do I qualify for a USDA loan?
Very simply. First, you got to make sure the property. So it's not the property is in a USDA area, which is like old part of Riverbank, all the outside in the county area.
Did Oakdale fall out? Is Oakdale still in?
Yeah, Oakdale's still in. All north up in Tuolumne County, Calaveras, all those places are USDA. So that's 100% financing. There's not a size of the loan that the max. It's about income, how much you can make. And I think it's 96,000 or up to 110, depending on how many kids you have. So it's really easy to qualify. The biggest headache with USDA is they look at the debt to income ratio, which is for every dollar, how many cents goes towards the mortgage, and for every dollar, how many cents goes towards the mortgage and your other debt. Those numbers need to be 31% and 41%. You can kind of get around them if you have a 700 plus FICO score, but I just tell most people we just look at it without that. So,
right.
So it's a great program because you can actually add your closing costs in on that one if there's enough value.
Right. Yeah, if it appraises.
Right. And they're going to appraise. The question is, they're going to appraise for more.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes they do.
It just depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Because a lot of people have been putting them on the market and they're coming in higher on the appraisal than what the house has been under contract. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Lately, it's like people are, I'm going to do, there's been a lot of people who are like, I don't think this is going to come in value. Came in, no problem.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to give you another one.
Okay, good.
Should you buy a house now?
You're just tossing these softballs in these grapefruits.
Hey, these are, where I get these questions from? Google.
Oh.
Yeah, so we go out there and we grab them and then we cut them up and throw them in here, and that's where. And I usually ask them on, answer them.
What number is that?
29.
Okay. Yes, you should.
And why should you buy it?
Because you know exactly what's happening right now.
On what?
Anything.
You mean what the values are?
The values are, what the rates are, everything that has to do with purchasing a home is in front of your face. If you qualify and you can find a home, buy it.
Yes,
buy it now.
Because don't worry about where rates are right now, because rates can always be higher.
Yeah.
And if they say they're gonna do what they're gonna do by not buying more mortgage-backed securities, they're quantitative easing.
Mm-hmm.
That means rates are gonna keep going up.
Right.
And so you want to check it out now. Get in that, because then eventually, when they push us into this recession, which is coming. All right, let's stop messing with my mic.
I'm not doing it.
That was my finger. I don't know how it caught the cord. Yeah. We can always refinance once we hit that recession. And just because we're in a recession doesn't mean house values are going down. They're going to continue to go up. If you look at all the past recessions, there's only one really that house values went down, and that was the Great Recession, which should have just been the Depression. But,
I was not born.
You're in the Great Recession?
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
No, I was born again.
Oh, man, I stepped into that one, didn't I?
You flew into that one.
All right. Are we good? Is that enough questions for you today?
I could take one more. You've been throwing some just not even a curveball.
Well, the problem is a lot of these are a little more how to buy a house with poor credit.
Build your credit up.
That's right. That one was done. I got to get some more. I got to get some more real estate ones for you. That's all I got to do.
It's amazing how low of a FICO you can have and still qualify for a loan.
Yes, but
you're going to have garbage. I mean,
the problem with that is, and I say this a lot, I see these guys around jumping up and down on TikTok going, I'm going to call my borrower and tell him I got him into a loan with a 580 FICO score. And I'm like, why? Why not take 30 days and get them to 620? And then they love you because it is so much of an easier transaction. Because under that, they got to cross the T's and dot the I's. I've had one lady was like, she was upset with me. I go, remember, I told you this, right? I told you if we went this right now, this is what was going to happen. I know, but I didn't really know it was going to be like this. I told you that. It's not difficult to get people. So they're like, I all the time, I look at people's FICO score. I don't care where it is. We improve it. That's our job.
Yeah.
And you make it better. So how can you do that? If you're that low, go get 2 secure credit cards.
Right.
There's a program now we can add your rent onto your credit report.
And
that's 40 points.
Or do a rapid rescore.
Right. Well, the rents on the credit report takes 45 days. But still, that's only 45 days.
Right.
But I go from a rate that's extremely ugly to a decent rate. Right. And that's the difference is it's like going Calhafa. It's like, yes, you can get in with no money down, but do you want to pay 7% or 6.5% for your house payment?
Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really.
Let's do it smarter. Let's make it a easier process. Market's not going, oh yes, it's going crazy, but we're going up 1% to 2% a month. It's not that much to wait 45 days and get it such an easier deal.
Not today. 3 months ago, yeah. But
right.
Not today.
But you're right. I mean, I see 580. Really, VA doesn't even have a FICO score, but it's just you look at the pricing of the interest rates, and why do you want to pay $5,000 for a 6% or something?
You don't.
Right.
We shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying that's what we look at is you have to, what's the best thing for my client but a lot of people do that TikTok dance and that stuff on there to get more people to call them and say, oh, you can do that. Yeah. Everybody can do that.
TikTok dance.
You haven't seen that, dude? After this, I'll tell you a few things.
Okay.
And show you a few things.
I haven't.
But yeah, it's just like they because I do a lot on TikTok, I do a lot on YouTube, and I see these guys, and I'm like, going, you're doing such a disservice to our clients out there.
Yeah, yeah, but that makes you understand where their interests lie.
Right, and yeah, it's all about getting likes and views and that. It's not about helping the clients as much. And I can't maybe that it is their ultimate goal, but there is an easier way to help clients, and that's getting their score up higher. So that because I have a review from a lady who was like, thank you so much for helping us, because I helped them do most people when they do a refinance, they just do a refinance. I worked a whole program with them to pay off their debt in this, and they went where everything was paid off. They're paying down their house an extra $1,000 a month.
Oh, nice.
And their FICO score went from 650 up to 850.
Wow.
And that was just by doing that. And their vehicle, they hit a deer because they're up in Sonora, and they're like, they were able to go get a new loan with zero financing, all this stuff because of what has happened. And that's what's most important is you want to get your clients in that situation. So if something happens, it's not a big deal for them.
So they walk around golden.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's smart.
It's kind of like what our state used to be.
It used to be. It can be that again.
Yeah. We've got to polish that tarnish off.
Ridex.
There you go. That was a good one.
I like that one.
That was a good one. We need to get some more Ridex out.
We can say that online, can't we?
We can, because no one can shut us down. Actually, I take it back. I said the word Republican on one of my posts when we had Nathan on, and YouTube shut down 5 of my videos to
really
accidentally, supposedly.
What was the word? Don't say it again.
Republican. And that's why I said, my radio show, I want everybody on. I'm in the middle. I talk, you can't say independent anymore, and because you can't vote in the primary.
True. Can you say Democrat?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. They actually boost them. I'm just kidding.
Actually, I can believe that.
Yeah, well, you got to remember the bots are programmed by young people.
Okay, now we're digging a hole.
No, I'm just saying that's where the bots get programmed by. They're not programmed by you or I.
No,
because we wouldn't know how to do it.
You or I, isn't that a disease?
Or I or you. Is that better?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're done.
I think so too. We've been spending 19 minutes talking about nothing.
Yeah. Hey,
actually, we had some good information out there.
There used to be a show about that.
What was it called?
Seinfeld.
That was a great show. My wife hates that show.
Does she?
Yeah, I loved it. And then when I went to New York, I went to the diner.
Yeah.
I have pictures of it. It's like the inside does not look like anything on that
stage.
stage.
That show was funnier now.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The best show about nothing.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
guess we should change our name to Seinfeld.
There we go. No,
Oh.
I don't think we can use that, but we can say we're nothing.
Seinfeld.
Sunfried.
All right, Mike. We'll see you Monday.
See you Monday, Ed. Have a great weekend, folks.
Yes, everybody, and thanks for watching, and thanks for loving Mike up there and liking him.
Well, they like me.
They do. They like
Oh,
you.
my Lord.
Yeah. All right.